Yo, what's going on, YouTube, and welcome back to Goal Line Hockey. It's your boy Kevin Forte, and we have a short video for you guys today, but I figured that I'd give my two thoughts on the Jack Eichel returning to Buffalo game. So this has been built up, and this was a game that a lot of people had marked on the calendars, especially up in Buffalo. And the expectation was hopefully Jack Eichel would be back for this game this year, and he was more than healthy. He was ready to go after his surgery. He recovered very quickly. And this was the big game. Everybody, especially on the broadcast, all the focus was on Jack Eichel. How, it was a perfect marriage between these two teams. You have the kid from America, the poster boy of the Buffalo Sabres, staying in the States, and everything fell apart from that point on. And everybody forgot about the two other guys that were a focal point of this trade who played in this game as well. For the Buffalo Sabres, they played better than Jack Eichel. We'll talk about that in today's video. So, the big part of this, going into this game, was how would the arena be? Now, again, firsthand experience as an Islander fan, there is going to be that animosity toward the player that left. Now, definitely a different circumstance with Tavares and Eichel. At least the Sabres got something for Eichel, unlike the Islanders. But in this sort of deal, you're looking at a guy that requested a trade really like 6 to 8 months before the injury situation occurred. He already wanted out of Buffalo. So the whole thought that it was just because of the surgery purely is not necessarily the case. But I understand from that perspective why Sabres fans would be upset with Eichel. He requested a trade. He wanted out of Buffalo. And then the surgery thing kind of forced the hand on both sides and made it a really, really ugly situation. They stripped him of his captaincy. We've seen this happen before where captains have been traded. And we'll probably see it here in the next couple weeks with Giroux. They're not going to strip him of his captaincy before he ends up getting traded. They're just going to say, all right, well, he was traded. He's no longer the captain. They're not going to have a whole press conference to strip him of a captaincy and do all this and just to create more. It becomes personal at that point, and that's what ended up happening here. So now that you have the storyline going in, obviously it was a pretty divided arena. When you look at it, there was definitely some Sabres fans wearing the Eichel jersey. They were wearing the Vegas Golden Knights jersey along with that, and it was thank you for everything you did, Jack. You deserved better. Then there was also the Jack Eichel sucks. You've done nothing for us people. It was both sides. So then we get to the game, and the game actually started off pretty good. So they have basically that's the thing. So when a player leaves and comes back to that team, the first game and the first TV timeout, they'll do a video tribute. They did that for Jack Eichel. Again, pretty divided, but you could definitely hear the boos more than you could hear the cheering. So they did that, whatever. And then right after that, right as they dropped the puck within a minute or two, the Buffalo Sabres score a goal. Now, who scored the goal adds a little bit more to this because the two players that were traded from the Golden Knights to Buffalo, they both scored in this game. Peyton Krebs, the second draft pick in Vegas Golden Knights history. It was Cody Glass, who was the third overall pick, or the fifth overall pick, wherever Vegas moved up to. And then Peyton Krebs, who was picked later that round. So that was a very big, he was supposed to be a big part of the Golden Knights, and it never materialized, and now he ends up scoring a goal against the team that drafted him. So, pretty exciting there. And that was right after the video tribute. It was a pretty quiet back and forth game the rest of the way. The Sabres dominated that first period. The second period, things stayed, again, pretty much the same. And then a little over halfway into the third period, the Vegas Golden Knights get a flutter goal. It was a weird goal. His third of this season. I'm trying to remember who actually scored the goal. He's been bouncing around the league a lot recently, but he got his third goal of the season. I'll have it up for you guys here in a second. Let's see if we could find it. Why is this so difficult? Okay. Peyton Krebs, Ben Hutton. Thank you. So Ben Hutton, his third of the season. Again, a little over halfway through the third period. And then, the question, Ray Ferraro said it best himself during the broadcast. He said, this is a young Sabres team. Are they going to get rattled? Are they going to get shaken while this veteran Golden Knights team has all the momentum? They just tied the game. What's going to happen here down the stretch? Well, Victor Olofsson gets a goal. Jonathan Marchessault had a situation with, I'm trying to remember his first name, but the big defenseman, the prospect of the Sabres, Samuelsson. I want to say Ulf Samuelsson. That's not who it is. But the Sabres get a power play. Marchessault takes a big hit. Just cross-checks him right across. Actually, it's more of a slash right across the back of the legs. There's no padding there. So I'm sure he felt that after the game. Marchessault, a very undisciplined penalty for a very veteran NHL player. He was upset with the no call, goes slashes, retaliates. Sabres go to the power play. They get a goal. Victor Olofsson, who quite fittingly enough has been brought up in the trade rumors as well here into the deadline. His contract is up this summer. Do the Sabres see a spot for him moving forward? They have young guys, first round picks, J.J. Peterka, Jack Quinn coming into their future plans in the top six. So does that maybe push Victor Olofsson out? And maybe while his value is still somewhat there, maybe they move Olofsson. Again, that's only his 10th goal of the season. It's been a rough season for him. The Sabres score a power play goal, which they are one of the worst in the NHL on the power play. It was a really, I don't want to say magical goal, but it definitely gave a spark to the Sabres and that fan base. And then in the final minute, the Golden Knights pull Laurent Brossoit. You have Jack Eichel with the puck in the corner. Alex Tuch picks his pocket. He goes down on a breakaway, empty net, and he seals the deal for the Buffalo Sabres. I almost said the Golden Knights. I caught myself there. So this all kind of comes into form as to the relevancy of all the goals that were scored, other than Ben Hutton. But Peyton Krebs, first round pick of the Golden Knights in their inaugural season, he scores against the team that drafted him. Ben Hutton scores. Then we see Victor Olofsson. Been a lot of trade rumors here over the past week. He scores a goal. And Jack Eichel gets his pocket picked by Alex Tuch, who wanted to go to Buffalo, go to his hometown. And the Sabres wanted guys that want to be in Buffalo. Alex Tuch does that, and he pretty much tucks in the empty netter. You see how I did that? Alex Tuch ends this game, making it a 3-1 win for the Sabres. Now, there's another storyline on top of this just to continue the good vibes in Buffalo and maybe the turnaround of this organization. Craig Anderson, the guy nobody wanted in free agency, was kind of an afterthought as the Sabres brought in Aaron Dell and Craig Anderson as really questionable head-scratching goaltending decisions. Craig Anderson gets his 300th NHL win. Congratulations there to big Craig Anderson. He's been a big part of some good hockey teams. The 2015, 2016 Ottawa Senators, he was a huge part of that run. He's gone through some adversity, even in Washington, really struggled with the Caps, comes up to Buffalo, pretty much retired, and then the Sabres said, hey, you want to sign a contract? He goes up to Buffalo, has had a really tough season with the Sabres this year, and now you get your 300th win. And now, this is where the Sabres can kind of build off of this momentum. Chances are, by the end of this season, Owen Power will be playing with the Sabres once his season with the University of Michigan is over. The Sabres are going to bring in Power, and it looks like we're starting to hear rumors. I'll make a video about this next week. Owen Power is a guy that the Sabres are trying to build around on the blue line, and they're already looking to see what kind of options they could bring in as a defensive partner to play alongside Owen Power. They're looking at the market, seeing who's available. You probably think maybe a longer-term guy, but even in free agency, you sell to a guy like Klingberg, who's struggled a little bit this season. Whoever's available, Hampus Lindholm out in Anaheim, and you sell them on the idea of playing with Owen Power, the first overall pick. Maybe you're able to lure one of those guys in. Maybe you do a little bit of a Dougie Hamilton situation with the Devils, and you kind of give them a little bit more than market value to get them in there, but you have the talent there. So I think that the Sabres, this is a good sign for them. I think Jack Eichel is quite happy this game is over. He was throwing shade after the game in the post-game press conference. Jack Eichel on the atmosphere tonight at KeyBank Center. That's the loudest I've heard this place ever. It only took 7 years and me leaving for them to get into it. So just trying to just dig into the Sabres organization. It's been a back and forth from both sides, and I just think that this is always going to be a little bit of a rivalry, and I think that is quite good in the NHL. I think it's good to have like the heel of a story just like that, and it creates a little bit more excitement for the fans. I think this is only a good thing for the league. So guys, let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Do you think this is the turnaround story for the Buffalo Sabres? They're going to use this game. You're bringing in Owen Power, hopefully a big name defenseman this summer, hopefully another good draft pick. They're going to start having young guys like JJ Peterka, guys like Jack Quinn coming into the fold as soon as the end of this season, maybe even into the fall. Let me know what you guys think. Guys, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you again next time.